Alright, today was good and also interesting and sometimes awkward. I had a couple, I just had a couple ethics questions come up, I guess. I had a girl today, and I've had this before, and I've never really known how to deal with it. I had a girl today that just was really not wearing appropriate clothing, and her tank top was too thin, and she was basically hanging out of it. And I'm trying so hard not to look at her, but she's also playing with her phone, which is underneath her shirt. And it was very distracting. Just because I knew it was she was distracting everybody around her, and she was distracting herself, which was then, of course, distracting me because it was an issue. But I didn't want to draw attention to her clothes or lack of clothes and the fact that she had her phone underneath her shirt. So that was really frustrating. I just don't know how to deal with stuff like that without crossing boundary lines. Other than that, my pride and joy moment of today was the same girl that I've talked about in the previous videos who has really struggled with matching pitch and who's now really matching pitch well. My one of the disabled girls, she volunteered to sing for one of my solos today, and I sat at the piano and was practically in tears when she was singing because she sang most of the notes, rhythms, and words correctly. And then the bell rang and she left before I could tell her she did a good job, but the rest of the girls clapped for her. And then, this is my favorite part, when she raised her hand to sing the solo, of course there was like 10 other people raising her hand. The girl who's sitting next to her, who is kind of a little snotty and not always a helpful student, called out above everybody else, Haley wants to sing the solo. Haley wants to sing the solo. And she stood there, and when Haley's solo came, she kind of helped make sure she was coming in at the right time. And that, to me, that's just as important as Haley trying to sing the solo and giving her the chance to do that. Because I wouldn't have expected that from this girl. I wouldn't have expected her to be supportive and helpful based on some of her other behavior, and that gave me a lot of joy and a lot of hope. And I'm thinking maybe I'd like to think about a sort of buddy system that we learned about in Dr. Silvera's class with the pairing of two students so that one can really help the other. And I think it would be so good for this girl to be like a mentor to Haley. And I think Haley would just be absolutely tickled with joy. And then on top of that, I need to figure out a way to do some individual work with a couple students, not just Haley. But I have another girl in the soprano section who has a lot more alto qualities than soprano, but I truly think at this age they should all be singing all the parts just to, stretch their range. But she just pushes the high notes from her chest voice and is like approaching the notes like this instead of like this. So I would love to have some individual time with her and maybe really work on how we access our high registers, even if we have a lot of mezzo quality. And we prefer to sing low, which I think she does. So think about some ways to maybe get some, Brett suggested, coming in after school, and he and I can give her a private lesson or something like that. And that's not just her. There's a couple girls that would really, really benefit, that are talented. They don't get to have voice lessons. So I think it would really help them a lot. So that's good. I think my biggest frustration right now is 6th grade choir. I feel like everything I teach is being taught by rote. And I don't know, I think I mean, I say I feel that way, but I think that's the truth. Everything is being taught by rote. And I don't feel comfortable with that because I don't like feeling like I'm just spooning them all the answers. And I'm just not sure how Leanne wants me to teach them. I just don't really know what they know. So I'm getting really frustrated because they're just not. I mean, they're very good at echoing me and learning by rote, but they don't really truly retain the music or understand the music, and that's getting very frustrating for me because I feel like I'm not getting anywhere in that class, and I don't think they're actually really learning the music. So maybe I need some good suggestions for how to change that a bit, I guess. But I don't think their reading skills are nearly as good as the older choirs. I don't think that they've gotten as much time learning how to sight read or learning about reading music as the other choirs have. And so maybe it's a work sample. But they're very frustrating. Other than that, everything else is going well. I still am really loving the choirs and the experience. I'm going in early tomorrow morning to work with Brett's a cappella choir on their choreography, which I think is a blast because I used to love doing that stuff in high school. And I arranged to meet with my old choir director at OMEA this weekend to talk about. I just have a lot of questions about how she dealt with her men's choir when she was my age, teaching in a high school, and kind of had the same sort of rambunctious spirit and maybe a lot of inappropriate comments. So I'm really looking forward to meeting with her and just getting to just talk through some of my questions, and other than that, I think it's time to say goodnight for Tuesday, and I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with more great reports.